Once upon a time, there was a family who moved into an old, creepy mansion. They had inherited the house from a relative they barely knew. The house had been standing for a long time, and it had a mysterious past. The family consisted of Mr. and Mrs. Johnson and their 2 children, Emily and Ben. When they first entered the house, they felt a strange chill in the air. It was as if someone was watching them, even though they were alone. As they started unpacking their belongings, they discovered a hidden door in the attic. Curiosity got the better of them, and they decided to open it. Behind the door, they found a dusty room with an old, creaky wooden floor. The room was filled with various things from the past, including an old painting covered in a thick layer of dust. Emily carefully wiped away the dust from the painting. It depicted a woman with sad eyes and a hauntingly beautiful smile. The family was captivated by the painting, but something about it made them uneasy. They couldn't put their finger on it, so they decided to hang it on the wall in the living room. From that day forward, strange things started happening in the house. Objects would move on their own, doors would slam shut, and the family could hear whispers echoing through the hallways at night. The children started having terrible nightmares, filled with dark shadows and a feeling of impending doom. Emily and Ben grew scared and confided in their parents about what was happening. Mr. Johnson, being a practical man, tried to brush off their fears, blaming it on the old house and their imagination. But Mrs. Johnson couldn't deny the growing sense of unease. She noticed that the portrait in the living room seemed to change ever so slightly each day. The woman's eyes appeared sadder, her smile more twisted. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, a sudden gust of wind blew out all the candles, plunging them into darkness. Mrs. Johnson felt a cold hand brush against her arm. The family screamed in terror as the whispers grew louder and more menacing. Realizing they couldn't ignore it any longer, the family embarked on a quest to uncover the truth behind the haunted portrait. They visited the local library and discovered a book that mentioned the previous owner of the mansion, a woman named Margaret Blackwood. According to the book, Margaret had been accused of witchcraft and was executed for her alleged crimes. It was said that she cursed anyone who possessed her portrait, seeking revenge from beyond the grave. Armed with this knowledge, the family realized they needed to find a way to break the curse. They sought the help of a wise old woman who was known for her knowledge of the supernatural. She revealed that the only way to break the curse was to return the portrait to its rightful resting place, the Blackwood family crypt. With the wise old woman's guidance, the family ventured into the crypt, located in a nearby forgotten graveyard. They carefully placed the portrait in a dusty corner, hoping that Margaret's vengeful spirit would finally find peace. As they left the crypt, they felt a weight lift from their shoulders. The house became calm and silent once again. The nightmares stopped, and the whispers vanished. The family knew they had done the right thing. Years later, Emily and Ben returned to the mansion as adults. The old house had been restored to its former glory, and it was now a happy home. They walked past the living room and saw an empty space on the wall where the portrait used to hang. The family had decided it was best to keep the painting hidden away from any unsuspecting souls who might be tempted by its haunting beauty. And so, the family lived happily ever after, forever grateful for the lessons they had learned about the dangers of meddling with the supernatural. The haunted portrait had taught them that some things are best left undisturbed, for there are forces in this world that should never be awakened. Once in a quiet suburban neighborhood, there lived a group of adventurous children named Timmy, Jenny, and Alex. They were always on the lookout for new and exciting places to explore. One sunny afternoon, as they wandered through a dense forest near their homes, they stumbled upon something extraordinary, an abandoned playground hidden among the trees. The playground appeared as if frozen in time, its equipment covered in rust and its once vibrant colors faded. Timmy, the fearless leader of the group, couldn't resist the allure of this forgotten place. He urged his friends to join him in exploring the mysterious playground. As they stepped onto the cracked pavement, an eerie silence enveloped them. The air felt heavy, and a sense of foreboding washed over them. Despite their unease, curiosity compelled them to continue. Timmy hopped onto a swing, but as he did, it began to move on its own accord, swinging back and forth without any visible force. Jenny's eyes widened in astonishment, and Alex's mouth dropped open in disbelief. They exchanged nervous glances. But their curiosity got the better of them, and they pressed on. They approached the dilapidated slide, its surface worn and jagged. Jenny hesitantly climbed the ladder and slid down, expecting a bumpy ride. To her surprise, the slide was unnaturally smooth, as if polished by invisible hands. It was as if the playground had come alive in their presence. As they continued to explore, shadows danced around them, making the children's hearts race. They heard distant whispers carried by the wind, chilling their spines. The more time they spent in the forgotten playground, the more they realized that they were not alone. Late one evening, as the sun began to set, the children saw shadowy figures emerging from the corners of the playground. These apparitions had a haunting glow, and their eyes radiated sadness. Timmy, Jenny, and Alex froze in fear, realizing that the playground was a gateway to a parallel world, an ethereal realm where forgotten children sought solace and revenge. The spirits, longing for recognition and companionship, told their stories of abandonment and despair. They revealed that they had been trapped in this forgotten place for an eternity, their cries for help unanswered by the outside world. Now, they sought to share their suffering, to ensure that no child would forget their pain. Terrified yet empathetic, the children understood the spirits' anguish and vowed to help them find peace. They delved into the history of the neighborhood, researching old records and speaking with elderly residents. They uncovered tales of tragedy and loss, of children who had vanished without a trace. Guided by their newfound knowledge, the children discovered that a curse had befallen the playground long ago. It had trapped the spirits within its boundaries, fueling their anguish and resentment. The curse could only be broken by mending the broken bonds of the forgotten children, bringing closure to their families and restoring their memories. Together, Timmy, Jenny, and Alex embarked on a quest to reunite the spirits with their long-lost loved ones. They reached out to the families, sharing their encounters with the forgotten children and offering a chance for healing. At first, the families were skeptical, but the children's determination and genuine empathy convinced them to listen. One by one, the spirits were united with their families, memories rekindled, and tears shed. The curse slowly lifted as the forgotten playground regained its tranquility. The once lonely spirits found solace in the arms of their loved ones, finally able to rest in peace. As the children bid farewell to the playground, they knew they had accomplished something extraordinary. They had not only saved themselves from the clutches of vengeful spirits but had also helped heal the wounds of the past. Years later, as adults, Timmy, Jenny, and Alex returned to the neighborhood. They found the once-forgotten playground transformed into a vibrant, welcoming space for children to laugh and play. The shadows and whispers were no more, replaced by laughter and joy. Their courage and compassion had not only saved the forgotten children but had breathed life back into the playground itself. And as they stood there, reminiscing about their extraordinary adventure, they knew that their bond and the memories they had created would never be forgotten. From that day forward, the neighborhood children would share stories of the magical playground and the brave friends who had brought light to the forgotten shadows. The legacy of Timmy, Jenny, and Alex would live on, a testament to the power of friendship, empathy, and the enduring spirit of childhood imagination.